Got you. Hello, my friend. You really need to be more careful. The way you're walking across the landscape, anybody could see you coming from a mile away. Sorry if I scared you. I just thought it'd be best if I taught you a little lesson. I didn't come back to the car. I got a bit too caught up in keeping an eye on things. I've been watching the temple for the last 30 minutes, and you know what I've seen? Nothing. No hints of any movement, no signs of a single person, vampire or otherwise, inside. As far as I can tell, the place is empty. Well, it might be a good thing, I'm not sure. The main thing on my mind is why. Why is it empty? What's going on? Is the place abandoned? Are the vampiric priests dust? I can't really say from out here, can I? Which means I'm gonna have to head inside. Yes, just me. At least at first. I want to check out every corner of the place, make sure it's actually empty. Once I've ensured that's the case, I'll let you in. Is that alright? And before you get any ideas, I don't want you entering a few minutes after I do. The stakes here are massive, world-ending. It's no time for games. I'm injured, and if those monsters get a hold of you, I shudder to think what they might do with your power. Hell, we don't even know what they can do with it, do we? Well, hopefully this place will give us some answers. Now I'm gonna head in. It'll be sun up in a few minutes, so I need to find shelter anyway. Keep low, stay here, and if you haven't heard from me in 10 minutes, head back to the car and drive. Doesn't matter where, just go. Maybe even drive back to the hunters. I think I'd rather they have you than the undead. But it's entirely up to you at the end of the day, since I'll probably be dead. So, I'll see you shortly. Hopefully. This place must be bigger than I would have thought on the outside, and the craftsmanship goes back centuries. Very impressive. But how long has the cult been here, I wonder? And how far does its black reach spread? I know you're there. Even if I hadn't heard your heart pounding or smelled your blood, I know you by now, my friend. I didn't have the slightest doubt you'd follow me in. You're reliably unreliable in your way. It's impressive. I know it's only been a few minutes, but I've already checked the place. That's what vampiric speed is for. There's not a soul in here. The place is abandoned, ancient, and in truth, I'm grateful. With my injuries still not healed, I doubt I'd stand a chance against one vampire, let alone a dozen. And before you ask, I am not going to feed on you, alright? I just can't. I don't have it in me. I'm sorry for snapping at you before. Well, not really. You were just trying to help, but I'd rather die than do such a thing. Thankfully, we don't need it. Like I said, this place is empty. Well, abandoned, not empty. After all, there's certainly a lot of evidence regarding this cult's history, isn't there? Inscriptions upon the wall detailing the history and not only of this cult, but of Rehawk as well. Written in dried blood, of course. What other way would the god of blood and vampires keep information? There's quite a lot of blood indeed. Why, just by sniffing the air, I can detect thousands of different blood types, each one the slightest bit different. So many souls. I know this disgusts you, my friend. Just because you're descended from the god of blood does not mean you share his ideology. I know that from the short amount of time I've spent with you, you're a good person, a normal person. It's a miracle, really, how normal you are given your past, but now let's stop wasting time and discover what the past is exactly. Let's see. these inscriptions. I don't recall the language, but somehow I understand it. Yes, from what I can tell, Riach is a dark god who takes particular glee in spreading pain and misery. He once walked the earth himself in olden times, an unstoppable monster that laid waste to millions. For Riach is not only the god of blood and vampires, but also disease and infection. Eventually, the other members of Riach's pantheon took issue with what he was doing. His actions were cutting down on their followers, after all, and they cast him out of the mortal realm, banishing him to wherever it is these gods lie. I know, gods are real, there's a secret pantheon. We'll just ignore it, move past that. Riach obviously wasn't very happy about this. He'd long detested the rules that gods placed upon themselves, but was now forced to obey them. So, in order to maintain some influence upon the world, he created vampires, a twisted perversion of life to ensure there would always be some remnant of his power on Earth. Now, like the other gods, Riach was still able to visit the mortal realm on occasion, provided he didn't use his powers. Many of his brothers and sisters did this to, sire offspring, keep their influence alive amongst the mortals, but Riach hated life, and certainly didn't want to create it. But even with his vampires roaming, he could feel his influence waning, so after centuries of indecision, he decided to have you. He chose a mortal. He wasn't too picky, really, and in a matter of days the child was born, body filled with the blood of a god, harboring infinite potential that Riach hoped to use to break free from his prison. He was pleased with his creation, but to no one's surprise, wasn't quite sure how to proceed. He'd never had a child before and wasn't certain how to influence them, to say the least. I guess being the god of blood and disease isn't as good as being the god of people skills, and because of this, Riach's offspring was allowed to forge their own destiny, make their own decisions. Even with the dark god's power flowing through their veins, it never seemed to corrupt them. And Riach was furious. He commanded his vampires to find the child, but they were unsuccessful. Until recently. We were lucky I arrived when I did. I don't think they realized what they had when they found you, because if they did, things would have probably gone a lot differently. It seems there's some kind of ritual they can perform upon you, and I wouldn't have been able to stop it in time, even though I didn't realize that's what I was doing initially. I just thought it was a regular vampire nest. You're welcome, by the way. But this ritual they keep mentioning, I wonder what that is. Oh no. It says here that once the child's blood has been shed, Riach will return to the mortal realm through their body, possessing the power he lost so long ago. Don't you see what this means? He'd be able to turn everyone on Earth into a vampire if he wanted, create a never-ending age of darkness. Do you see that spot there? That's where they're going to perform the ritual. Everything they need is all set up. All that's left is the child of Riach. Oh, shit. We've got to get out of here. Stupid, so foolish, I should never have... Wait, do you hear that? Vampire hearing, of course you don't. Several cars just pulled up outside. Let's take a look, see who it is. Maybe if we're lucky, it's just the hunters, and at least we might be able to explain it to them. We might be able to... Shit, of course it isn't. See the armor those people are wearing? They're vampires. It's blocking out the sun, because of course we wouldn't expect them to attack from the outside, not during the day. And in my current state, even if I was in prime condition, I'd struggle. but with my injuries, I don't stand a chance against one, let alone dozens. I'm sorry, my friend. I brought you right to them. I was so confident in my abilities that I've doomed us all. I'm so sorry. This is worse than when I got my friends killed by the Elder. At least then it was just a few. People who knew the risks, but this time it's not just my friends. This time, it's the world. Stupid. Thinking I was doing the right thing. I guess all I make is mistakes, huh? And the biggest one was thinking I could somehow atone. That I wasn't a monster. That by making sure I didn't drink blood, I wasn't what I am. But I am. I am a monster. There's no point in pretending any differently anymore. I am Vampiro Caruvunetsa Vampiri. I am the vampire that hunts vampires, even if I don't want to be. And I'm not going down without a fight. Give me your neck, my friend. If it damns me to hell, so be it, because I think hell would be preferable to whatever world the vampires would make. Come here. Sorry if this hurts, I've never done this before. Hold my hand. I'll try to make it quick. Your blood. This power. I can't stop. Every bite. Delicious. But I can't. I can't do this anymore. I can feel the flesh around your neck healing. Every drop I drink is immediately refilled. Your body is a never-ending feast. I can see why the creatures enjoy this so much. This blood, especially yours. Especially yours. It's like an elixir. Delightful in every way. But if I bite you again, I won't be able to stop. But the thirst is gone. For the first time in oh so many years, I can't feel it anymore. I'm free of it, but in its place is something so much worse. The essence I felt within you, it's in me now, filling me, corrupting me, turning me darker every second. How do you stand it? How do you live like this, with this evil inside of you? I thought I knew what it was like to be a monster. Until now. I shouldn't have bitten you. Terrible, terrible mistake. But it was the right decision, I think. Even with this power, this evil flowing through me. Because it gives us a chance. This dark power, it gives us that at least. So get out of here, my friend. Run. I'll hold them off, though the odds are against me. And even if I win, I want you to run away anyway. Because I can feel myself growing more vicious, more savage by the second. And I don't know what I'll do if I catch you.